found too many people who are lacking in they know the concept, but they are not able to answer it properly. So that's why I have started this channel as well in the beginning. So I was taking interview from the emails itself. So I do ask people to have a mock interview with me free and all. So, but the many people they are saying I will join, but on that time they even don't join. So I keep calling them. So now the is interesting now for me as well. So many people's I'm helping many people's by taking their interviews, sharing the feedbacks with them. So many people's asking me for the notes as well. So that also I'm preparing right now. So
Yeah, so that's
yeah,
great
yeah,
and good to hear.
yeah. So those are the things I'm mostly doing right now. Okay, so yeah, Ganesh. So you have 2 years of experience, correct? 2.4 something.
Yeah, actually, like 1.7 plus years on Angular.
Okay, okay. So have you given any interview before this?
No, like actually, I don't have any interview experience except my previous company. I attended only one interview, and after that, this is my. I'm going to look for opportunities. I just wanted to have a self-evaluation of how I am in this
Hmm.
particular
Okay,
technical stack. So I wanted to make sure.
okay. But I would suggest you to complete your 2 years of experience at least. So you'll be having
Yeah, sure, sir. No, actually, it may be taking
oh, two
time. For
point.
example, like I'm
Yeah,
starting now.
yeah. So right now situation also a bit weird. So but fine.
Yeah, because most of
At least
the job opportunities they are asking for immediate joiners. Anyhow, I
yeah,
have to complete that
correct.
notice
So do
period
you
and those things.
how month do you have notice period? 2 months or three
Yeah,
months?
60 days.
60 days. Ah, that is fine then. But still companies will not be in the phase over there. They will wait for 60 days as well. Okay.
Yeah,
But
because I have been
mhm,
applying for a week, but I don't think so. I have not got any response regarding that because there will be a section will be there. Even if I'm applying in LinkedIn, they'll
mhm,
be asking, "Can you immediately join?" I will say no. I have 60 days or not spread. I will not get any reply from them.
yeah. So you have to apply in a small scales companies. Okay. So
Yeah, sure. I'm applying on it,
probably
but I am not sure of regarding certain things. Can I ask you?
yeah, please.
Like, actually, I do not have a right strategy to give you answer for this question, like expected CTC.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't know what to expect because the
Okay.
current company which I'm working will be is providing me very less.
Okay. So
So
still,
I do
but
not know what to
mm-hmm.
do.
Okay. So if you have a package of 3 lakhs, then you can ask at least
Okay.
5 or 5.5 or in between of 6 kind of. So
Yeah, okay.
and if you have
Yeah,
more than
same.
5
I'm
or
getting that
6,
same only.
okay. So you can ask them for a close to 5 for the first offer. Then once you got the offer, then you
Okay.
can have an counter offer with the another companies. Then this is how it works, Ganesh. So what happens? So in your first offer, you will not get that much of hike. But if when you give the another interviews for counter offers in the multiple companies, so at that time only your
Okay.
package will increase. So some company will say that Ganesh join me in a 10 days, I will give you 7 lakh of package. Correct. And they will give the
Okay.
bonus as well, kind of. So such kind of situation happen mostly at the when you are immediate joiner. So that is why this company is asking you. Sometimes companies gives the bonus as well, joining bonus.
Yeah, that I can understand. But I don't have any experience on interview in IT field complete.
Hmm. Okay.
So only first company I attended it. Like there are three rounds over there. I completed that and they recruited me. So that's how it
Mm-hmm.
was.
Okay.
So give me a second once again.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So 1.6 years of experience in Angular, TypeScript, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, C Sharp Web API, Angular Material UI, correct? Or Angular Material?
Yeah, Angular material.
Okay, so you written Material UI. So change it to Angular Material.
Okay.
Then RxJS is fine. This is also fine. You added your technology that below. at the right side. Angular, TypeScript, HTML, CSS.
Yeah,
Those you
to
already
make
added in the
highlight
left. You already added in the left side as well.
like that is inside the company. Like I wanted to replicate that as environment, and the right side I have showed it.
Okay, but that is fine. But it is two times in your resume, same thing.
Okay.
So you can remove from the below, I think, because skills looks good at the right side. So it will
Yeah,
be.
below one I have removed. Sorry, like that is
Oh,
not updated one. Below, like
okay.
that point was there. No, I
Okay, okay.
removed
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that is what I'm saying.
Instead of that, I made it as recent certificate like that I put.
Yeah, those can you add. Correct. Okay. So we'll start with Angular then. Okay.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah. So, okay. So have you created a services in Angular?
Yes, sir. I created services in Angular.
Okay. So first of all, what version you're working right now in Angular?
Angular 14.
14. Okay. So have you heard about standalone components?
Yeah, that is in current version, like in Angular 16, they have introduced that as standalone components where we are moving out of the modules and we are creating it. We are implementing all the dependencies in the component and we are using the component as a module itself. So it will
Okay.
be it will not
So,
having any interaction with the module. So we can create a component and we can have the dependencies for that particular component and we can use it.
okay. So are you using that as well in your project?
Actually, we are not using that procedure in Angular 14. As of now, we are not implementing that.
Okay, because it is part of Angular 14 itself.
Yeah, sure. But actually, it is a migrated project. So, like, it was
You
previously in different stack, and we created it in Angular 14, but we are not implemented. As of now, I am clear about that. We are not implemented that standard components.
okay? Okay. Yep, that is fine. To migrate to it standalone, you need to just fire three commands. It will automatically works and it automatically handles all the. It will remove all the dependencies from the module. It will create a standalone components for your each and every components in your application. You just need to write three commands in the your say CMD tool or
Better it.
something. Yeah, so you have to run these three commands, so it will do all these things.
Okay.
Yep. So if you can do that, then if you're able to do that at your local, then you can show your team members. So I have converted this to standalone, so it will help you in Angular 15 or later. So at least means you will just show your excitement of the new things you are learning and all. Okay. Okay. So okay. So any other thing added with a standalone components?
Mm, Like they have given more documentation regarding Angular signals. That previously it was they given a flash on Angular signals, but they implemented like new features on Angular signals. How it is gonna be they created a publish on how it is gonna be replicating the RGX manner. So they given Angular signals on that, and Angular is universal for server-side rendering. So these are the new stuffs which they have released in Angular.
Okay. So okay. So standalone components. So how we do load the components, standalone components? Do you know? We use a component in the eager loading. We use a lazy load modules. We load the module.
Yeah, three types of.
Yeah. So do you know how to load the component then?
Like you're asking regarding lazy module or
Lazy component.
yeah, lazy component module is like on demand. We wanted to use the
No,
declarations of a module. For example,
no, no.
yes,
I'm
sir.
not saying about module. I'm saying about component. See, in Angular 14, we are not using now modules. Okay. So there is no concept of modules. You are writing because it is backward compatible as well. But in the 15 or 16, you should not be create a module.
Okay,
But okay, but still
okay,
you have to load that mod component as lazily, correct? So they have introduced new thing, load component, like the way we have load modules,
okay,
correct? So it will be like it will work as a lazy loading for a component, not the module.
okay.
Yeah, so this is the one thing
I'm
they
not
have
aware of that.
introduced. Yeah, so
Okay.
just I wanted to highlight the new things whatever working right now, because some interviewer will be expect all these things from you. So because the you're working in Angular 14, so you should be know the concept of what they have been introducing in the Angular.
Sure, sir.
Okay. Okay, so we're talking about services, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yep. So there is a injectable, correct, at the top. So do you know what is the meaning of that? What does it means? Inject at the top.
Yeah, sure, sir. Actually, what we are doing is like with the key with the decorator injectable. What we are doing is that we are saying that in the provider section, this will be taking in is taking this service will be taken as an root, and it will be unique as to all the components which is taking this as a reference.
Okay.
So that whatever value which we are having it in the services, for example, if we are having a variable like a simple variable having a number, so that
Hmm.
same number will be equally shared to all the components which is sharing the dependencies. And if they are changing anywhere, it will be getting replicated in all the components.
Okay. 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 So,
There another way of using that as well. Like in the module, we'll be having in the at ng module, we can use it using a provider,
provider.
and we can use that service, and we can also do the same
Okay.
in
Yep.
the root module.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So, so do you know what is the difference between ng on init and constructor?
Yeah, sure, sir. Actually, ng on it first difference is that ng on it is a lifecycle loop where constructor is being invoked because we are creating a class. So we are constructor will be automatically will be getting executed. So the main difference between ng on init and the constructor is that whenever a class is there, once the class has been initialized, the constructor will be called. So we'll be creating that injector private services will be injected on that constructor, but it is always to do perform operations in ng on it. The reason is like the engine on it will be initialized until all the component dependency are completed, then only the engine on it will be triggered. Whereas constructor is triggered once the class has been declared.
Okay. Okay. So, do you know about ng destroy?
Yeah, sure, sir. Actually, one of the major reason for using ng destroy is that if you are using many observable, if you are controlling many streams of data, we have to unsubscribe it. So we can create an abstract class with ng destroy, and we can extend to the base class, and we can unsubscribe it using the RGS operator called take until. So that I'll be having a simple subject on the abstract class, and whenever I need it to, whenever I'm closing the tag, this ng
Mm-hmm.
on destroy will be triggered. Inside that, where I will be making that subject to I will be calling the subject. So inside the base class, I'll be having an any observable. I'll be using an operator called take until. So once this is got destroyed, so that observable will be unsubscribed. So this is one of the most important and mostly used feature in my project. So that I'll be unsubscribing all the observable which have been used in the application.
Okay. Okay. So, so are you using async pipe?
Yeah, sure, sir. We are using async pipes.
Okay. So what is the use of it?
Um, so um, Actually, the async pipe is asynchronous way of getting the value emitted by the observable or promises. So what we are doing is that instead of creating a subscription and returning the value,
Mm-hmm.
we are using that async pipe in the HTML, like in the component template, and it will be getting the latest value, and we are getting replicated on that. For example, we are in our project we are using async pipe for the loader function. Whenever we are having any function, sorry, whenever we are getting any HTTP call and we are waiting for the response, during that time it will be giving a true statement so that the loader will be implemented. And once we got the response, it will be like uh, spinner subscribable dot next equal to false. Then it will be stopping that loader and we'll be getting the data. So this is how we have been using.
Okay. So, and what is the drawback of it?
The drawback of that is like if you are getting any errors, we cannot able to catch it. And moreover is that it will be working on the digest cycle of the Angular. If you are having so much of events uh, present in the DOM, so it will be replicated for each every cycle. It will be subscribing, so it will be increasing the on display memory. So
Mm-hmm.
in that cases, it will be reducing the speed. If we have multiple operation running for, like for example, on changes, wow, it will affect the screen
Mm-hmm.
presence. It is same as that. If you're not handling it properly, we'll be getting a on display delay on user experience.
Correct. Okay. So, so it is it type of pure pipe or impure pipe? Async pipe.
I think pipe like it's a pure pipe.
Pure. And what is difference between both pure and impure?
So actually, there are default pipes have been present in there where it will be manipulating the data, whereas impure pipe, no, actually, I just confusing the answers.
Okay. So, yep. Read about that
But I
because
don't want to
async.
confuse this answer.
No. So,
Yeah,
so async pipe is impure pipe, not the pure. Okay.
yeah, sure.
And
Because I just got it confused. That's why I stopped.
yeah. Okay. No problem. So read about that. Okay.
Yes, yes, sir.
So, okay. So what is AOT compilation in Angular?
Uh, like there are three types of compilation in Angular based on the versions. Like JOT was the first one, and after that AOT, and after 13, Angular 13, we are having Angular Ivy. So AOT compilation is what it will do is like it will be like converting the modules and all the Java functions to a bundle, and it will be sending to the browser. And the browser will be rendering on the runtime, so that we'll be able to get the errors during the compilation as well as in the IntelliSense. So that is the advantage of AOT compilation. Whereas in after Angular 13, we are using Angular Ivy. Angular Ivy is an engine which is being produced and developed by Angular, which they say that it will be converting into smaller bundles and it will be sending to you. So based on the tree stacking purpose, like sorry, based on the tree stacking, like you, yeah, based on the tree shaking, I wanted to once again.
Mm-hmm.
In tree shaking, what it will happen is like we'll be having many dependencies and modules where we do not be using in that particular page. So it will be analyzing it, and based on the unused module, it will not be creating a small bundle based on that. So once we are using, it will be generating that bundle in browser and it will be replicating it. So that the defaults which we are having on JOT and AOT is being nullified in Angular IDE.
Okay. Okay. So, are you sharing your data in between sibling components in your project?
Yeah, sure, sir. Without we are surely doing it.
Okay. So, how you do that?
So actually, there are. I will say about the different ways which we use. Like first thing is, if you wanted to create a like a normal component, we'll be using like with not much complexity. We'll be using at input and output decorators for transferring the data between the components. Whereas if you wanted to share the data commonly between, and we also have some business logic. We have to be performing some business logic, and we have to share to different components. We'll be using services, and there even in services we can also create a getter and setter using a private variable, and we can share it based on where we want. We can also limit the shareable based on the getter and setter also. So there are three ways of doing is that for sibling, if you want to invoke a function in an like a child component, we can use a template difference and we can invoke the method in the child component as well.
Okay. So, for a sibling with a services, you said that we are using, we can use a getter setter, correct?
So that is a like that is for for all the components can be accessing that variable using a get and set method. So that is
Yeah,
also
that is,
like
yeah,
a commonly.
that is, yeah, that is fine. But see now,
Okay.
so if you have sibling components and something get changed in a component A, okay,
Yeah.
let me draw it over here. So you will relate that. Okay. So what I meant to
Yes.
say,
Yes.
see, can you see my screen? Let me share.
Yes.
Okay. So what I meant to say, suppose you have this page, okay,
Yeah.
and your component A is here and your component
Yeah.
B
Okay.
is here, okay, and this is your service.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, this should be A and this should be B now for you. Now
Yeah. Okay.
you
Got it.
you say that you will create a getter and setter here and you will pass data to here again, correct? So
No, sir. No, I did not say like that. Like, what I'm saying is that I'll be sharing a single variable between these two, A and B. So, like, but that is not for siblings, sir. We can, like,
that is why I'm
actually, I
asking.
said
That is
getter and setter for,
hmm,
like, so for example, if I'm having a variable, if I'm having a private variable, if you
hmm.
wanted to alter the value, I'll be using a getter and setter. So that that private variable can be shared between these two.
Okay, so you said that
To
you will create
to
our
achieve
private.
this, I will be using a subject.
Yeah, so that is why I was asking you all these things because you did not
Okay.
mention anywhere subject or anything.
Yeah, okay, no, to achieve this, I'll be using subject or bigger subject to
Yeah.
make this.
Now tell me what is difference between subject and behavioral subject.
Like a key difference is like a bigger subject will be asking for an default value, whereas subject does not ask for a default value. And for both, we for example, we do not need like for observable, we need a subscriber to create a next function to emit the values, whereas subscriber does not need that much complication specific subscriber to emit the value, whereas we can use dot nest to emit the values.
Both will use dot
And these
next.
are the, sir?
Both will use dot next.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So what is different between both them?
It is accepting the default value, whereas we'll
Hmm.
be
Yep. So behavioral
giving
subject
like
will
giving
take,
the value.
yeah, it will accept the
Yeah,
default value, whatever you want to pass, correct? Okay. So have you
yeah.
heard about replace subject?
Replace subject. Yeah, I came across it, but I have never used it.
Okay. So the way we pass a default value to your observable, s- correct? Your behavioral subject or something are
Yeah,
observable, it will hold that value, correct?
yeah,
The
sure.
replace subject, you can hold the values if you give the buffer of 5, so it will hold the previous 5 values. Okay.
Okay,
So when you push the sixth value, it will eliminate the first value and it will push that new value. Correct. So you can create a buffer in that case. So
got it.
yep, kind of that it works. Okay. So have you heard about SSR?
Server-side rendering.
Mm-hmm. Do you know anything about it?
Server-side rendering is like I can say what is the use of it. Like the in most cases the server-side renderings are used to optimize the page. Most of the thing it will be having less interaction with the page. To rank top in the SEO list, we'll be using server-side rendering pages. Some of the examples are like well, Google will be ranking based on the server-side rendering pages mostly. The reason is like the response time is like the CPA will be very less when we are creating a pages using server-side rendering.
Okay.
So that it will be taking to the top of the list and it will be replicating in the search engines. So that is the reason why we are using server-side engineering. But I'm currently working in client-side rendering.
Okay, no problem. So you have been creating a forms in your project, correct?
Yeah, sure, sir.
So what type of form we have?
Um, we are using reactive forms, but there are two types. That is template-driven forms and reactive forms.
Okay. And what is different in both?
Like Actually, template-driven forms has been since from AngularJS it has been there. The reason why they have used it like to give the experience of the same which you are using in other platforms. So they wanted to replicate the same thing. But whereas in reactive forms, so it is a modern way of converting all the values, and we'll be having so much of features added to it, added to the template-driven form, where
Mm-hmm.
we can create multiple forms. We can also have an option of creating a forms array. So all those things will be added out to the reactive forms, whereas template forms from the default they have been developed, so it is still there. But most of the cases we are using reactive forms.
Correct. Okay. So read about both in the depth little bit. So what is form control, or what is form group, what is form array when we use it.
Yeah,
Suppose
sure,
I want
sir.
to see sometime what's happened. So interview will ask you to how to write a pattern, and if you want to check the input depend upon that pattern. If it is matching, then it should show the green. Otherwise, it should show the red kind of things over there or
Yeah, we
invalid
can
kind
use
of.
validators.
Yeah, so that is what I'm saying. So such kind of question also gonna ask sometime. So that is what I'm saying. Okay,
Okay.
so yep. Okay, so have you heard about serverless Angular application by chance?
So, pardon, sir.
Serverless. Have you heard about this term?
Serverless? No, sir. I'm
Serverless
not
means
clear
oh,
on
okay.
that.
Let me tell you. So have you heard about Firebase?
Yeah, sure. Firebase.
Okay, so that to use that Firebase, you don't need any backend. No Java, no .NET, Node.js, nothing. Correct? You directly
Okay.
use that Firebase from Angular.
Okay, got
Okay.
it.
So this is serverless because you are storing your data directly on the DB of the Firebase, but you are not writing any server side of script. You are directly calling from Angular to Firebase. So this is one of the example. So
Okay.
they have been too many APIs for your application. So we can use SSO login, then we can log in with Google, then we can use login with password, login with phone number. All those things comes with the Firebase. So read about that and the push notification also. It is very good to use a push notification as well over there.
Chain reduction you're saying, right?
Firebase.
Okay, Firebase push notification.
Yeah, push
Okay.
notification. Yep. Okay. Yep. So, okay. So lazy loading you might be know. So, okay. So, do you know what is the performance optimization techniques for Angular?
Yeah, sure, sir. There are different ways of we can improve the performance.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the ways of like removing any functions which is being present in HTML pages. So we have to eliminate the use of functions in the HTML, like using the function to get the value in the HTML
Mm-hmm.
pages should be reduced. If the any modules are being not used, but it is being available directly, and if we are using any direct routes with
Mm-hmm.
connecting to the module, we have to remove it and we have to make it as lazy loading.
Mm-hmm.
To reduce the claim time complexity, we have to increase the use of reusable codes. So wherever it possible, so that a single time it will be running, so that we'll be getting multiple dimension of usage. And to reduce the on-display memory, like we can make the change detection on push, so that
Mm-hmm.
the Angular will be creating the digest cycle for each time any event is been called. Instead of unnecessarily like
Mm-hmm.
uh, like unnecessarily looking for the changes in the HTML page, it will be checking only for the events. So these are the ways we can increase the performance as well.
Correct. Okay. So I think we have covered small and important questions. So
Yeah,
any
sure.
question do you feel that is bit difficult for you now as well? So you can read about that, correct? Because
Yeah,
we
sure,
have,
sir. But
yeah,
actually, what I wanted to say is that I just wanted to get a review on my knowledge.
yeah. So that is what I'm saying now. So, okay. So you knows the concept, okay, but you wanted to explain it more clearly. So you need to read more all these things in the depth. So that is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
sure.
Yeah. So because this is your first interview. So if I give 2, 3 interviews, so you can relate the question and you can relate the answer as well. Right. So it will be easy for you. So, but try to give the interview for any company. So in that way, at least you will practice your
Okay.
questions and note down the questions, whatever question interviewer will ask you. So you can make a note of those questions and prepare for the next interview. So it will be, you will be having the question sets for you. Correct?
Okay, got it.
Yeah. And one other thing, Ganesh. So you can do one thing. So we have Angular interviews, correct? In our channel as well.
Yeah.
So do one thing. So I'm asking the question to that guy, correct? So pause the video at that
Yeah.
time and try to give your answer, at least in just so you can relate that
Yeah,
answer.
sure, I got
So
it.
what, yeah, so what answer I can give for this question, and you can compare your answer with that interview, that candidate's answer. So in that way also you can prepare very well, correct?
Yes, yes.
So
No,
yeah.
actually, I just for 1 month I've been what I'm doing is that based on my daily work, what I'm doing, like if I'm using any RGS operator, I'm
Mm-hmm.
just explaining it to myself, and after that I'm using it in my project, so that I'm just getting ready,
Correct.
related to and used to when and I don't need to get panic because the question which you asked all are like almost similar to me. I can able to guess and say
Hmm.
it.
Yeah.
Only for serverless, I am not having any clue on it,
Correct. Yep. That is fine. That is fine.
so that I can able
Because
to relate my work on it. So
yeah,
I need to like still
I
more
did.
work on it.
Yeah. So I did ask you some bit tricky questions. So that is why I found such kind of things. But no problem. So as your experience is 2 years, so close to 2 years, so that is fine for now. But
Okay.
try that Angular, what I told you related to Angular standalone. So standalone
Yeah, sure, sure.
commands, yeah, do that because that is kind of the things happening right now. Anything else, Ganesh?
Uh,
You
like
can,
that's most of the things are covered. Like
yep.
maybe like I will also focus on JavaScript as well because many interviews may also ask regarding that.
Yeah, so I did not have get chance to ask you the question related to that. So probably we can have another interview whenever you want to have.
Yeah, sure,
You
sure.
can book. Then I can ask you related to JavaScript on that time. Correct. And you can ping me
Okay,
on
sir.
the,
Next week I will book for it.
yep. And another thing, you can ping me on Instagram anytime. So if you have any questions, so we can talk on the Instagram as well.
Actually, I'm not that like I'm having Instagram, but I'm not using it.
Oh, you are
I'm
not
not that
using.
much good in social media.
You can mail me then.
Yeah, no, I'm having your number, so no issues.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, okay, no problem. Okay then. Okay, Ganesh, all the
Thanks,
best.
as a
Yep,
great having a chat with you. I'm having some good clarity.
yep. Okay, no problem. Yep, bye bye. Best of luck.